Here we go. It's almost 9:20, 10 minutes before 12 before the open, Eastern Standard Time at 9:30. And right now, the most important takeaway of what we're looking at is right now, if we open right here, and we probably will, is that we are in range and below value. Most important takeaway. And I'm referencing Friday's value area, not yesterday's. So got all that combined from the runoff on Friday all the way up until right now in X period. On this particular chart, the pivot points aren't going to matter or shouldn't matter because, well, need to double check that. I think they're, let me just double check. I believe I'm referencing those on okay, I could change them. I'm not sure if that's even correct, the daily chart. I'll come back to it. It's not important for what I'm talking about here anyway, because the biggest recommendation, well, let me rephrase that. I'll come back to that. Right now, the takeaway, let's start over. The takeaway is that we are in range below value on Friday. We are in an uptrend on daily, regular trading hours view. We've got a lot of things below us that beg a revisit. We still, even though we had a lot more volume on Friday, we are still in divergence volume-wise. So very important. We could see a sell-off. We've got some news today, 10 U.S. news, something to be aware of. If there is a pretty sizable range today, usually I talk about the first trades that might happen in the possible situations that might happen when right at the open is down here 34.75 to 35.75. That little area right there is a potential. Yeah, you know what? I should move this up a little bit. Really, if it gets down here, it's probably going to bounce a little bit. I don't like a cluttered chart, and I know mine sometimes are looking that way. But if you know what you're looking at and you're taking it one tick at a time, it's not cluttered at all. So that's just a kind of a speed bump. Actually, it may be a really good place where it stops and there's something there, and then moves on down. But usually when you get this close to a VPOC or well, again, these pivot points, I'm not going to call them valid. I got to double check that. I'm not sure it's valid. So there's an overnight here with a poor low. You've got some areas that beg a revisit. These can all be turned blue now. I'll do that later. No, I'll do it right now. Sometimes you'll see blue within blue. I've got to do a little bit of cleanup on some drawings. However, this blue within blue means this. Although we'll likely get some back and forth or some little scalpable bounces here. There's a term I'm making up. Scalpable bounces. How about that? I'm not looking for a reversal to break the bank. It's more like scalpable bounces. How about that? And then if anything happens, it happens. It's kind of like you're dating that reversal. How about that? Gotta make yourself laugh, That's actually pretty good. You're dating, and if it works out, it works out. But you don't know unless you try, right? You gotta take a shot. And if anyway, so what this means though, even though there's probably a dateable reversal here, this is more likely a better candidate, is what I'm saying. That's this blue within blue. Okay. And the same up here on the upper end. If we were to get back up here, I didn't think it happened. Although it's likely if we do get up in here that we're going to try to at least get to the other side of this, if not higher. These are some areas that are playable within that region, you know. So that's what I've got on that. Now, one thing I want to show you here. So these are regular trading hours. We've got divergence. That's probably the most uptrend with divergence. Probably the most important takeaway on the daily chart of regular trading hours. Now, if we look here on a full session, which has gotten a little messy here, let me put this one off. Well, actually, I'm not gonna, because it's funny, and I could show you on another chart here real quickly how this can really make a difference. Now, this was a head and shoulders pattern that worked. Here, this line goes off into infinity, but look, remember this head and shoulders pattern here that failed? This is a 15-minute chart, by the way. Well, it makes a lot more sense now on that sideways to down. This is a different one than the expanding triangle that I had up, which I've deleted since, but makes a lot more sense. See how that just like, whatever happened to it? Well, why did it come back and it still fell onto that? Coincidence? Somebody trading it visually? Maybe. Does it matter? There you go. Say it again. Every indicator, every level, every area, every inflection point, every pivot point is important. It's just how important is it? Okay, moving on. So right now, this is our overnight range here. This is Monday. I can't combine the bars, unless I combine all of them to be 2-day bars or something. I don't want to do that. So what I want to do, though, is, this is a nice, quote, trick. Most software, I think, lets you do this. When you crosshairs over a day, when you go next, it's not just smooth. It actually falls onto a slot where the day will be. So when we open up, well, actually, let me go over here. Well, no, let me back up. This still showing 121, but when we open up daily session at 9:30 in 4 minutes, it'll be right here, and you can take this up, and there's a trend line right here. We've touched it 3 times. Good rule of thumb that it's pretty decent trend line, and over a period of time. That's going to coincide, be confluent with some other areas that I have already mapped out. Notice how, it's hard to get it exactly in the tick on a chart like this, but 2671, 2775, there's a couple points in there. And you go over here and you see there's high volume nodes and low volume nodes, and that's becomes very interesting. And then there's other things too. There's other things there. And then down here, about 3175, got this 9-period moving average that's it almost looks like it's wanting a kiss. I don't know what this romantic stuff is, but this is pretty good analogies. I mean, if you understand how moving averages tend to forecast some things. Now, I'm going to have to add, somebody who's, it's not a leading indicator. Well, you don't know how to read it then, okay? Or you don't have enough screen time or something. Yeah, I don't mean to get so snarky, but I've just heard such thought-stopping nonsense from people. And, one reason I got into trading is to get away from people like that in my life. And another thing is I'm finding it. I found it, of course, there's people everywhere, so I find it in every locale where there's going to be people. You're going to find thought-stopping nonsense. It's just the nature of humanity, I guess. So, and I'm no exception. I'm probably have thought-stopping nonsense. All right, so moving on. We're going to open 2 minutes. This is at this moving average is that it's going to change a little bit. It can change. It's about at 33, 32, somewhere in there, right? So we go over here, and that's down here a little bit. So you want to watch out. It gets down here. Now there's a poor low though. Okay, and you've got this, little bit unusual region. A lot of time was spent in here for some reason, and you want to watch this area. So now this isn't exactly how I draw all these, but that's sort of you could put something there, and reminder on a chart that you look at. You want your important things on one of your most important charts, and so I already kind of, I'm not going to probably be around for it to get down here that long, and there's plenty of other places along the way. I'm probably not going to be around for that. This blue line is just I think I might have mentioned this speed bump. Did we just open? We just opened. Speed bump above the value area high. So let's see here. So I just want to say, so what I started to say earlier, I thought I'd get to later is like quote unquote, talk about what maybe to play. This VPOC is obviously a place that could be traded against. However, you're in range, which for me always means it's a lot choppier. You're below value, and that's a little bit better thing to go on. But if you were going to open above this VPOC and go long, well, now you're below value, right? And you're also in a kind of a trading range area. And if I split this out, where are we in that trading range? Let me come back up here. See, I'm not interested in trading this right now. So yeah, we just went up. We came down to this side, went up to here, came down to here, went up to here, came down to here, and it seems to kind of be wiggling, losing some momentum. But now that we've got the volume picking up for the day, on the opening has happened. We might, hopefully we get conviction one way or the other. But I kind of seems to me, unless there's some news I haven't heard yet or been aware of, or how some foreign stuff is affecting things, it probably is going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if we came back through the open again a time or two. There's won't be lacking conviction is what I'm trying to say. So on the other side of this, would I short this or would I go long here? Well, you got a poor low in the overnight. That means that auction may not be finished, but I do short poor highs, and I go long poor lows a lot of times. I mean, we'll probably go through it. Odds are really high, but not necessarily the first time there. But yeah, so like it's, where's it really gone anywhere? It hasn't gone anywhere. We're going to come back through the open here probably in a second. There you go. And so what's happening? Would I want to be in a trade either way right now? No. Sure, you could. I mean, if you're really fast and super hyper focused, but for me, I still need a little more coffee, I think. But yeah, so now we've come back through the open. So which way are we going today? Up or down? Your guess is as good as mine. Let's think about odds right now. Well, when I can't read anything from one chart, I'll look at things a different way. And I don't know, what do I see happening? A little wedge, triangle, I like to, let's just look to keep it simple, or look at a 30-minute chart. And I put these areas on this chart. It could be even simpler than this. Oh, well, we got these candles here that signify indecision, kind of going sideways on a moving average, and stochastics is like right in the middle. And again, as I'll say it again for people who poo-poo, that's a funny word, who say, who ridicule I've even seen people ridicule candlesticks. You crazy? So much information you can, I don't know, my brain just is different, I guess. But anyway, so any tool is important. It's just how important is it, and how do you know how to use it? So yeah, look, we're going sideways here. We're in a balance area. You know what? Now, one thing I like to do sometimes is just imagine, use your imagination. I saw a quote today, something about imagination is it was Einstein, or it's Einstein, something about the future. You could look it up. Imagination in the future. It was a pretty good quote, if he really said it, but somebody did, and it's good. Anyway, my point is about painting the bars, or painting the chart. It's a little tool. So let me get my little zigzagger. So, again, I do. It seems like I'm drawing these every day, but what could happen here? Well, could be a long time favorite, H&S forming here. So what's the problem? And just like reminding yourself with the little line there. So when it gets up here, oh, you'll be trading into this edge and these highs. So I'd want to wait for this one to be not a breakout, it's more of a pullback. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not liking anything. It's day after a holiday. Okay, day after a holiday, in range, below value. We've I don't know, haven't really done much. Hadn't had a lot of. One thing I'm noticing, like this W low, really wasn't a lot of follow through. We took it out by one tick, right? A lot of follow through. So sellers aren't super strong, at least right now. Not right now. We took out the X high here by one tick. Buyers aren't really strong. There's like a little range here, that little distribution that we haven't really been able to get above, not just gone back through the open. So that, that's telegraphing that right now there's either not a lot of participation, there's not a lot of conviction. So what's that mean? Well, the market's waiting on something. All right, it's 9:35. In 25 minutes, we do have news. And you know what? I closed that I forgot what it is. It is. Let's see. And this is kind of a long video, I guess, because I already decided if I'm going to do anything, I'm waiting. So let's see here. Today is January 22nd. Existing home sales for December and existing home sales change for December. So 24 minutes. Yeah. So I'd say the market's kind of waiting on that. Usually as we get a little closer to it, there'll probably be some positioning before it. It's not. I'm trying not to go by. If you use one of these news aggregates, or excuse me, news alert economic calendars, what I'm trying to say, they'll color the importance of the news. Well, one thing I've discovered is that's a nice guideline. There are some that are 99.9%. You'll see something happen. That's just an arbitrary number, stat, but they're colors of like yellow, orange, red, or green. I don't know all the colors on the different ones. There's a couple of them. You kind of, especially when it's like you can't go by that. That's what I'm trying to say. Market seems to be telling me that it's waiting for something to trade against or trade off of, waiting for a tweet, waiting for some headline, waiting for the news, waiting for a reason. So look, how many times have we gone through the open? I used to have software. I counted it. I haven't been able to program this to do that. This Sierra chart, which I highly recommend, by the way. But I've watched, just even not even looking at it 100% of the time here this morning. I've seen it go through there at least half dozen times, it seems. And if you imagine this, let me pull this back in here. This is something that this is like a doji. We got 3 dojis in a row, and I think somewhere that's a pattern, And this is a 30-minute bar. So what's that telling you? Well, indecision on a lot of bigger time frames. And if when you're talking, okay, I don't want to get into all that. I'm already going kind of long here, but indecision between um, like the longer the time frame generally is going to be, where the bigger players make decisions and things like that. I don't know, just my, let's just call it supposition. All right. So here we are up against this, potential head and shoulders trend line. If someone was to have taken a break out there, get in on the tick on that stop. It's like I said, trading into an edge, right? Look at that, and these highs. Now, when you come up here and take off, sure. But would you have want to have taken that as a breakout? Look where it is now. I wouldn't have. This is one where I said it, I think, in the one that I was talking about in the Globex video, that, that pattern failed. But if you were going to go long, then you'd want to wait for it to come back versus a breakout would be the better option. And let's not forget, it goes without saying, but I'll try to say it more often. A failed pattern, like a failed HNS, to go long is an indication you might want to go short, right? So a failed long signal or pattern is potentially a signal to go short, right? Because the market's going one way or the other. And but if it didn't clear, I don't want to be involved. It's just too painful. So, all right, that's all. I this is kind of a long video, so I got to get them back down shorter again. So, all right, thanks for watching. If you're watching, I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe.